What's up, guys? It's Samantha. Welcome to my channel. So, Canva recently introduced a brand new AI feature called Magic Layers, and a lot of people are still trying to figure out what it actually does. But here's the interesting part. Most tutorials are only showing the feature. They're not really showing what you can actually do with it. So in this video, I I'm going to show you 5 real things you can do with Canva Magic Layers that can instantly upgrade your designs. And after each example, I'm going to jump into Canva and show you exactly how it works. Let's get into it. Number one, remove objects from photos. The first thing you can do with Magic Layers is remove objects from an image. Now, normally, if you wanted to do something like this, you would have to open Photoshop or some kind of advanced editing software. But Magic Layers automatically breaks an image into different parts so you can easily remove things you don't want. For example, you might have a great photo, but there's something distracting in the background. Maybe it's clutter on a desk. Maybe it's a random person walking behind your subject. With Magic Layers, you can simply select that object and remove it. And just like that, your photo instantly looks cleaner and more professional. Now, let me show you how this works inside Canva. I am going to select Magic Layers from the home page, and I am actually going to choose the image I want to make changes to. You can either upload an image or choose an image from the media. This is the image I will be using. Now, I really like this image, but the thing is, I do not want the subjects that I'm currently seeing in the background. So after this image is done processing, I am going to remove the people in the background. Okay, so it's done editing. As you can see, I can even adjust myself. Or I could remove this altogether, but that is not why I'm here. So I'm going to undo. I actually want to remove these subjects from the background. I'm going to click delete and I'm going to click delete for that as well. And there you have it. I have simply removed the characters from the background so that everything is focused on the subject. If I wanted to increase this, I could go ahead and do just that. Or if I wanted to push this more to the side, that is also an option. Number two, put text behind a person. And this is to create a cinematic effect. The second thing you can do with Magic Layers is create what designers call layered depth. This is actually one of the most popular techniques used in YouTube thumbnails. Instead of placing text on top of everything, Magic Layers lets you place text between different parts of the image. For example, you can have text appear behind someone's head or shoulders, which creates this cinematic effect where it looks like the subject is interacting with the design. This simple trick instantly makes thumbnails look more professional and more dynamic. Now, since I already have this image on my screen, this template that I'm already working on, I am just going to continue as is and share with you how the effect can be done. So I'm going to go to my text section and I am pretty much going to write my name. I am going to use uppercase. I'm going to bold this and I'm going to look for a font type that I actually like. I'm going to add some effects to it, change the color, and I'm going to adjust the intensity. So the next thing I'm going to do is to try to place this font or this text behind my head. So I'm going to go to position, I'm going to go to layers, I'm going to go to overlapping, or you can select all, it really doesn't matter. And I'm just going to drag this below my face or the object on screen, which is my image. And that is how you add text behind an object. Number 3, replace the background of a photo. Another beautiful thing you can do with Magic Layers is quickly replace the background of an image. The AI can identify the main subject of the image and separate it from the background. Once that happens, you can easily swap the background for something else. Maybe you want a bright color background. Maybe you want a blurred office background. Or maybe you want a gradient that matches your brand colors. Instead of manually cutting out the subject, Magic Layers does most of that work automatically. Let me show you how easily this is. So I am going to go to upload and I am going to upload an image of my choice. This is the image I want to use. I already have it here, so I'm simply going to select it, and then I am going to drag this just to fill the canvas a little bit. Or if you wanted to simply start from scratch, you could leave this, you could go to Magic Layers, and you could just add the entire image on the canvas. So that way you would not need to make any adjustments. So I want to remove this background and actually post the subject elsewhere. So my background has now been lifted from the subject. So the graphic is actually layered. What I am going to do is I am actually going to go to photos and I am going to search for an office background I think I want to use. This looks clean enough. Let's set this to the background and let's go to position again. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to remove the background that is already there. And as you can see, I am added to another background. Now, obviously, this is not the best picture to use in terms of a picture with myself, but it's just an idea. And if I wanted to add another background, I can also do that. Set image as background. And this looks like a better option. Number 4, turn one photo into multiple social media graphics. This next use case is incredibly powerful for content creators. With Magic Layers, you can take one single image and turn it into multiple graphics. Now, because the tool separates different parts of the image, you can rearrange them to create completely different compositions. For example, oops, sorry about that. For example, you could turn one photo into an Instagram post, a YouTube thumbnail, a Pinterest graphic, and you can do this all using the same image. You can reposition the subject, move objects around, and add different headlines to create multiple designs in just a few minutes. Let me show you what that looks like. So here I have an image with me that was created using ChatGPT. This image can be used on social media, but if I wanted to use it on Pinterest, for example, it would not be the best size. Now, what we can do is to use Canva Magic Layers to change this up a bit so that it can be published on Pinterest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize this, and this is just so that I have a better formatting for Pinterest. And I'm only going to ensure that page 2 is changed. So I'm going to resize this document. And as you can see, only this page was changed. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and post to my Pinterest canvas. And I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to process this image. Good. So the text are now movable. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set this as the background, and it does look a little weird. So I'm going to start positioning or adjusting certain layers that I want depicted differently. So I'm going to drag this to the middle. I'm going to change the size. And I'm just going to fix this up. And I'm going to adjust these. If I wanted to, I could also change the font colors. I could also change the image, the circles. Let's change that so it's visible. There you have it. This is the graphic I can actually post. Oops. I could actually post this on Pinterest. You could do a lot more edits to this, but I just want to keep it simple, and this is just me demonstrating what how it can be used in real life situations. Number 5, create real estate marketing graphics. And the fifth thing you can do with Magic Layers is create high quality marketing graphics. This is especially powerful if you work in real estate marketing or content creation. For example, you could upload a photo of a house and isolate the home from the background. Once that happens, you can add bold headlines like just listed, open house Saturday, luxury living. You can even place a text partially behind the house to create that layered effect, premium design style that you see in high-end property marketing. And we spoke a little about this previously. I think it was number 2. When you do this, this makes listing graphics far more polished and professional. Let me show you how that works. For this demonstration, I am going to use a property I recently created social media graphics for. Many of you may not know, but I work as an executive virtual assistant for real estate agents. So if you're an agent and you're listening to this video, I am ready and waiting. Yeah, shameless marketing. Let's get into the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Magic Layers. This is the property. I was recently working with it, and I am just going to allow it to process with Magic Layers. Yep, everything is now movable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the font. This is going to be just listed. I am going to increase the size. Let's add some razzle dazzle to this text. Nope. All right, let's use this one. Increase them more. And I'm going to use effects. I love this effect. I love neon. I'm going to increase the intensity. And I am going to go to position. I'm going to go to layer. And I'm just going to put this behind the tree. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring over some text I have for this property. So this is not the exact location of the property, but it's just the text I'm able to find. So we are working with this for now. Let's add a little outline to see if this is more visible. Let's have a look. I wanted to preview, but the link is not there, so we're going to have to download this. And you could create a lot more with this. I am just keeping it short and spicy. Now, the cool thing about this is if you were actually working with animations, you could actually do a lot with this. So you could actually create an effect where the just listed is rising up beyond the house. That would be a very cool effect. So this is just an idea of how you can add life to your designs. There aren't a lot of agents doing this, so it is something worth looking into. So those are 5 real things you can do with Canva Magic Layers. And honestly, this tool is still pretty new, which means people are still discovering creative ways to use it. If you want, I can also make a part 2 where I share 5 more practical ways to use Canva Magic Layers. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Canva tutorials. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.